Yesterday in the state of Ohio, issue 1 failed miserably. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time that we do a post-mortem of the primaries that we saw yesterday in the state of Mississippi, as well as the Ohio referendum on the referendum system. That is right, there were elections that did happen in the states of Ohio and Mississippi. And while the referendum in Ohio really doesn't change much, the Mississippi primaries did have one big disappointment for conservatives, America First people, whatever. It was kind of a disappointment in Mississippi, but Ohio, depends if you wanted this to pass or not. Personally, I would have voted yes on Ohio issue 1, but we'll get to it. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you could join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. It's time for the post-mortem. And let's go over Mississippi first, because this one did have a competitive primary, at least for the lieutenant governor election. And I looked more into it, and it seems like the establishment did have a victory in Mississippi. I mean, is it that big of a surprise? I wouldn't call Mississippi, you know, a populous state or whatever. It's definitely a bit more of an establishment state. It is in the South, and it does have a history of electing establishment Republicans. With that being said, Chris McDaniel was kind of the MAGA America First candidate. He was running as the conservative of this race. Hoseman, he was definitely the more establishment pick. McDaniel had serious support. He had the support of Ted Cruz, the more conservative people in Mississippi. And while he sadly did lose, I'll give him credit for putting up a good fight against an incumbent. Yeah, I think he did all right, considering the fact that this is Mississippi, and actually a vote dump just happened, but it's not going to change the results. And while he did lose, I'm glad that we do have Republicans willing to challenge incumbents like Hoseman for, from what I could see, not being a good lieutenant governor. So hopefully this pushes the Republican delegation in Mississippi towards the right. For the governor primary, of course, Peter Griffin, known as Tate Reeves, he did in fact win by quite a bit, not a surprise. Brandon Presley was uncontested, so we really don't got to talk about that. But this does set the stage for Tate Reeves versus Presley, but I think everybody can agree that Presley has run a not a good campaign for a Democrat in Mississippi. Like, dude, this isn't like, you know, I don't freaking know, Minnesota. This is Mississippi in the deep freaking South. This state voted for Trump by 16. And it's like, I don't get what he's trying to do. He's not even running as a moderate Democrat right now. He's running as just like a generic liberal. It's like, that's not who people know you as. They see you as the conservative Democrat. But either way, Mississippi didn't have much else for competitive elections. There were a couple of state house elections, but we're not really going to get into that. But yeah, Mississippi, kind of a disappointment, the fact that we didn't get rid of what I could see as an establishment candidate. I didn't really know who Hoseman was beforehand. Did some research and I realized, yeah, we should have got McDaniel to win, but sadly he didn't win. But it's whatever. It's not the end of the world. It's one primary. Can't win them all. Now, Ohio Issue 1, on the other hand, this was an election that, in my opinion, was a really big blunder by Secretary of State Frank LaRose. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Frank LaRose, who was running for the Senate seat, he put basically all of his political capital in Ohio Issue 1, which, if it would have passed, would have amended the state constitution to change the threshold for a referendum passing to 60%. It's currently just a majority. And LaRose threw everything at the kitchen sink at this. And I gotta say, it backfired. It failed by 14. Yeah, it did way worse than how bad Renacci got killed in 2018 against Brown. That's how bad this was. I mean, look at this. This is a Trump plus 8 state, and it failed by 14. Now, let me be 100% clear. These people on Twitter and certain YouTubers that are saying that, oh, this is a sign that the state of Ohio is shifting left. It's like, what? No. There were just a bunch of Republicans that didn't want to support this. And while I would agree that, well, my opinion is I think referendums should have, a higher threshold, I can understand to a lesser extent why some people would vote no. Because it's like, it's kind of like you're giving up your right to vote, essentially. You're losing your power to vote. Well, not really, but I could see the argument for that. But it's like, that doesn't mean it's going to turn blue all of a sudden. It's just, whatever, it failed. Not the end of the world. Like, people are making this sound like that, oh, this is the turning point. But not really. Really isn't the turning point at all. There were some signs of the, just a bunch of Trump voters, they voted no. And or even some establishment Republicans around Cincinnati, especially Hamilton and Columbus, they also voted no. So this isn't just, Ohio reverting back to being purple. It's just the referendum failed. Now, why did it fail? Just look at some of these numbers. Look at Washington County. It voted yes by 16. Okay. Trump got 69 nice percent of the vote. He won by 41. These counties are why it was so lopsided. These rural, deep red counties, they shifted to the left. Or not to the left, they shifted no. Licking County, which has a decent amount of votes. Not the most in the world, but has some amount of votes. Voted yes by 4. Trump won it by 28. Even Vance is a better example. He won it by 26. This is why this referendum did in fact fail. These deep red areas, they voted yes. Or barely yes. They're supposed to be dark red, not, light yes. And you have places like Franklin being a 50-point no. Guys, Vance lost the count by 32. It went no by 50. So the biggest shifts actually did occur in rural parts of the state. And even look at, Mahoning County, Portage, Trumbull, Geauga, Ashtabula. Look at these. 4 points no. Trump won it by 23. Mahoning, no by 16. Trump won it by 2. Yeah, this is what happened. And you actually go back to 2012, you notice there's a very similar map here. Just flip, Delaware County and a couple of these ones over here, and this is identical. This was closer to the Obama coalition, or I should say the Romney coalition, than it was to Trump. So why the hell are some of these people blaming Trump for this? It's like, it's not the end of the world that this failed. It failed because a lot of Republicans, they just didn't want to support this. This isn't just them, flipping Democrat. No, it has nothing to do with it. It just had to do with the fact a lot of people, they just didn't think this was a good idea. And the biggest collapse happened in deep red areas. It parts also in, like, Columbus and stuff, but it's like, some of the largest swings did occur from northeastern Ohio. The Trump-Obama areas. But overall, this was kind of a disappointment for, I would say, LaRose. Big fat mistake on his part. He should have never thrown everything at this race. Because, okay, you get a yes. What upside do you get from it? What? We've seen similar referendums fail in South Dakota, in Arkansas. I just don't get why LaRose thought this was a genius idea. They should have focused everything on the abortion referendum, try to change the message of it, you know, hey, this referendum would allow abortion up to birth. Focus on that, not, we're just going to change the Constitution at the last second. Either way, it is what it is. Stinks, yes, lost. Again, I would have personally voted yes, but I can understand why some people would have voted no. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.